Shabba dabba ding dong. Oh my gosh! Our bedroom now smells of cake, which is amazing. Sacher-torte. I think it's going to be more of a sack of taste. Hello everybody, it's Barry here. Hope you are well wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our kitchen. Today on this actually surprisingly quite sunny morning right now, although it's supposed to be raining all morning, it probably will by the time we start. We're doing a Taste the World recipe, part of a playlist where I try recipes from around the world. Normally the national dish, but sometimes a little bit quirky, sometimes something I've always wanted to try, and today is no exception. Hallo, H-A-L-L-O, rather than hello is, I think, how they say hello in Austria. Yes, today we're doing a recipe from Austria. Not the national dish, apparently that's called a Tafelspitz. But no, instead we're doing something called a sacher-torte, and I have probably pronounced that wrong.
Sacher-torte.
There we go, sacher-torte. Sacher, all right.
Sacher-torte.
Sacher-torte, brilliant. Okay, we get it. So I apologise to everyone called Sasha. This is a chocolate torte. Now apparently the difference between a torte and a cake is there's a little bit of filling between a torte, and it's a slightly heavier sponge, but this is one that's got a little bit of history. It was invented in 1832 by a chap called Franz for the Prince Metternich in Vienna. It is one of the most famous Viennese culinary specialities. The cake consists of a dense chocolate cake with a thin layer of apricot jam. Oh, I love jammy chocolate cakes. Yes! So you basically make one cake sponge and then halve it, and then you wedge some apricot jam between those two halves and you coat it in a dark chocolate glaze. Oh! Now apparently the original recipe is still protected and there are lots of variations, but on actual sacher.com there is as close to the original apparently as you can. I treated myself this weekend, folks. I don't go out and buy myself flashy jeans and trainers anymore. I buy tins and kitchen utensils. This tin, I was like, wow, looks like a top hat. This is a spring release pan, right? But I was looking at this going, what is this? Is this like something to keep it stable? But no, I don't know if you've ever used one of these. Hopefully you have. As good as it is to have that clamped on there, you don't normally have this rim around the outside. That is a non-drip catchy thing so that it doesn't spill everywhere. Amazing, so that's what we're using. We're gonna line this, you don't need to see me do that. And then it's gonna get baked. Two other things I wanted to show you. One has absolutely no reference to this video apart from its Taste the World thing. Do you know these biscuits? These are called Le Petit Bear. Have you ever had those? I saw them in the supermarket this morning. Like, oh my gosh! Edible nostalgia. They're like buttery, slightly salty biscuits, but I had these as a kid. I used to get a lot of French students, they bring them over. So good. I want to do this on a future Taste the World. And the other thing, for this video, we need some good quality dark chocolate. So this is actually the same pellets, pellets. Like I'm feeding a pigeon. I melted it up earlier, and that's what we'll blooming well use. It is dark chocolate. Let's go. Now I'm only gonna line the bottom because with the springform tin greased so well like that, it should release quite easily indeedy. Boom. Let's lock that in like a freshly made bed. But it does say to lightly flour the tin sides. Melt your dark chocolate over boiling water, bain-marie style, and let it cool slightly. Well, I'm gonna bung mine in the microwave. We're not gonna do bain-marie, we're gonna do Barry-Marie. All right, so 30-second blast, stir, 30 seconds stir, normally about 90 seconds does it. Right. I spent £6, right? And this wasn't even the most, this isn't cheap versus steep, but there are two other ones. It has told me to use one vanilla pod, which if you've never used are, oh, I mean, so good. I will be making my own homemade vanilla extract. I've teased that enough now. But what I'm doing is scoring a line through that. So you kind of open it up slightly and then use the flat end of the knife and then just run the knife along it like that and scrape out those seeds. Shabba dabba ding dong. Dun 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 dun. Right, head whisk. We take one clean mixing bowl of icing sugar and pour it into another clean mixing bowl, but now with icing sugar for absolutely no reason. I don't know why I did it. Slightly bigger, that's all I got. This is some butter that has been sat at room temperature. It is actually naturally quite softened. And here is those vanilla seedy things. Now apparently, bear with me. Oh, there's a bear with me. Beat the butter with the icing sugar and vanilla seeds until bubbles appear. What? So I can't see bubbles, but that's definitely thickened up. We'll keep going. Well, I don't think I'm going to get any bubbles, but that is extremely well creamed together. It looks a little bit like vanilla ice cream, actually. It would taste quite nice, but we will move on. All right, in this bowl, I've got 6 egg yolks. We slowly incorporate the egg into our bubbly butter. Okay, bubbly, it's not bubbly. I don't know. Chocolate's going in there in just a minute, and I've just cleaned head whisk because the 6 egg whites from our 6 egg yolks are there separately with some sugar. This one was a bit clearer. It said beat it until it's stiff, which is great, and not bubbles. So I'll get that off. I'll leave a little bit of that on there. It doesn't matter too much. Back to this. And this has still got a little bit of movement in it. So I'll just, again, push it in, probably in thirds again. Alrighty. See, I'm scraping around this because the mixer isn't quite getting it. So sitting that right in there. Alright, just preheating my oven because I'm pretty much at the stage now, so getting that nice and warm. Next up is the flour. Now, the other day I did a giant s'more. I'm gonna have to give that camera a clean. And in that we used wholemeal flour, which is also known as wheat flour. But because it's a torte, I was thinking wheat flour, like in the s'more, in the homemade graham cracker we made, it was quite coarse. But so this is an extra milled one, so it is super fine. Sorry. We're just gonna sieve that through, and then we literally dollop on our beaten egg white. Look at this, like a huge iceberg. We just fold the egg white and flour into our buttery chocolate mixture, hoping that it doesn't seep out over the sides. I say that and it spills a load there. All of a sudden, that is looking very nice and consistent. Look at that. Into our prepared top hat. Oh no, I've got a bit of a problem here. I'll come on to it in a minute. Let's just get it in a minute. Oh my gosh, you gorgeous thing. Beautiful. Right, so here's the thing I've got. Apparently we put it in the oven, but with your fingers width ajar, so it's slightly open for 15 minutes. My ovens don't do that. Once I open the door, they turn off. But it's just about finished preheating. If I crank that temperature up slightly higher and do the same theory, because we then bake it for a solid 50 minutes afterwards with the door shut, I might as well try it and see what it does, right? Let's try this. So I'm gonna stick my oven glove there. Oh, my doorbell's gone, but it's still working. It's making a more of a weird fanny noise. We'll stick with it. If you're wondering what it is, it's some more Barry Lewis baking mats, right? You know, I had that imposter that stole my listing. I can't delete that listing even though no one sees it on Amazon. I sent in all my new ones and they added it to the old listing. So they're all coming back, apart from 100. There are some on there. So UK, US, Amazon, check them out still. 15 minutes has just passed and you literally learn something new every day. Oh my gosh. Blimey, that's risen well. Stays at the same temperature now. And it bakes for 50 minutes in there. Right, I'll see you in just under an hour. Folks, it has been 50 minutes. Look at that. It's kind of like papery on top where it's sort of cracked a little bit. It rose up. I looked again for the last 10 minutes and it kind of just sort of settled, which is kind of cool. It's springy to the touch. And what we do, apparently, is we get a wire rack with some baking parchment on top. Now, I don't know if that helps get rid of the grid lines when we turn it out on there, but that's what we're gonna do. Oh, that's popped off like a dream. Yes. I've got to do this quite confidently. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh. I'm actually loving how good that looks. Plus, we're going to gloss it. So I'm going to let that do its thing. Fully cool down. A lot of waiting. And then we'll wedge some jam in there and gloss this thing. Folks, I left that a solid hour and I put it in our bedroom and our bedroom now smells of cake, which is amazing. Oh yes. Now I've got a serrated knife and I'm gonna aim for the middle. But what I'm gonna do is keep the knife roughly at the same height and hope that I cut through it straight enough. And hopefully, oh yes! Jar of apricot jam, pop the fire. So you could warm this in a pan, but I'm gonna shove this in the microwave. Apricot jam cam. So by warming it up, it does just make it a bit more spreadable, and with a microwave, I feel like it gives you a bit more control. Oh yeah. So it's kind of absorbing straight into there already, and what I like about it being fairly thin like this is it's kind of like a cheeky flavour layer. So when you put the other one back on top, it might look like there's nothing there. Almost like a flavoury glue layer that's gonna hold it together, but more importantly, just give you that apricot spank. So that's 1, and then 2. So this is just a preference of mine. When we drizzle it with chocolate in a bit, I want it to be on the wire rack so any excess will run off. But I will put some under there just to catch any excess apricot or chocolate. So it's good to have that baking parchment there. And now we just gloss the sides. Oh my goodness. This is really, really addictive. Oh, I've just seen what you can see. Look how glossy that is. That's amazing. I'm loving the shine on it. So as it cools, it will stick a bit more. The jam had a few apricot lumps in it, and I'm just making sure it's nice and smooth like that. I left the big chunks in the ramekin still. Let's do the chocolate topping. I think it would be amazing as it is, but no. We get a saucepan and we start to make a sugar syrup. That was 200 grams of sugar and 125 ml of water. Because we are doing not your standard sugar syrup. We're doing a sugar syrup with chocolate. So we're going to warm this up. The sugar will dissolve soon and simmer it for a couple of minutes, about 4 or 5 minutes apparently. So that's dissolving nearly already. It'll be really hot, and then we shove the chocolate in, which is going to not only be chocolate, but we're sweetening it, and it's going to glaze the torte. So that's the plan. I'm going to go with it. Sacher-torte. I think it's going to be more of a sack of taste. Slightly scared by the hot sugar, but excited. That's had 5 minutes on there, bubbling away. It's reduced down slightly. We'll put it there for a couple of minutes and then get the chocolate in. I'm gonna add like half of it at first. So I'll wait until this is all fully melted. There's still a few couple of lumps. And I think it does help that they're chocolate chips. Otherwise, if you just shove the whole block of chocolate in there, that'll take a while. So I would chop it up super fine. It's getting a little bit thicker, but it is still maneuverable, which is what we're gonna want if we're gonna get a chance to fully glaze this thing. So shall we do this then, folks? Let's go for it. Oh my goodness, a nice quick pour all around the edges to make sure it drizzles over. So I put it on a baking tray. Oh my gosh, this is like, has it gone around your side all right? I'm talking to you guys as if you can reply to me here. Oh, there we go. There we go. I am really, really happy with that. Oh, now I leave this to set for 2 hours. I'm really tempted to eat it now, but hopefully it'll be worth the wait. You want to go for a walk or something? Brilliant. It's been 90 minutes, transferred it onto here. As I moved it once, it's got a little crack down it. So, I mean, that might just happen as you transport it. It's up to you. I don't really care. It's all going to go down the same way. But here we go. We're going to go straight into the middle. Oh my gosh. Oh! Oh. Oh. Cheeky thing. And let's not forget, there is apricot in the middle hidden. I can just about see it on the sides and the top. I will say it does look a little bit like a chocolate Millennium Falcon, doesn't it? Right, Mrs. B's going to be home from work any minute now. I'll get another slice for her ready. Apparently, I was thinking it's supposed to be moist, but Sachertorte is actually a dry cake with a mild and light chocolate flavour. So I guess it's like the jam, there's apricot jam in it that should sort of perhaps help break it up a little bit. Okay. But it was quite an airy sponge, so I was thinking, oh, should it be moist? I don't know. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, that is cheeky. Oh, you really get the apricot, don't you?
Oh, that's a nice touch, the apricot jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
The sponge of the cake is almost like a supporting act. The headline is the apricot jam with this chocolate glaze. There's a delicate richness to it with it, isn't it? Mm. Oh.
That's nice.
Oh, you're supposed to have cream with it, sorry.
Nice.
Look, it's like we're in Austria right now.
I can see how the cream would help.
Well, yeah, it is a teeny bit dry, isn't it? Mm. But apparently that's what it's supposed to be. Mmm. That is very nice, isn't it? Mm. It does, this is going to sound really strange, but it does taste European. I mean, maybe it's because we don't have much apricot jam on things in this country.
I think it's the jam and the chocolate.
Yeah, that is quite like the German thing with like Forest Gatto and stuff like that.
It's rich.
It is, isn't it?
But tasty.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the glaze that gives it that richness. And if you can see on these other slices, it's just a very thin banding on there, but just enough to give it that extra, ooh. Sacher spuds? Don't think so, mate. Sachertorte. That's what it's called, Sachertorte. Have you heard of it before?
No, never. Never even tried one before.
Well, now you have. I think I saw like a little glimpse of it on the Bake Off once. And I was like, oh, I really want to make that. And it's amazing. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. The only thing I would say is it did take quite a lot of time. There's a lot of stopping, waiting for the glaze, doing the jam, waiting for the weird bake with the half oven open, all that stuff.
It's tasty though, it's worth it.
Yeah, what I was going to say, well, is it worth it? I think the cream does add to it, but the jam just runs through it and gives it that little bit of smoothness. Otherwise, it would be a little dry.
I agree.
The glaze and all that. So, okay, cool. If you've got any other recipes for the Taste the World playlist, do let me know down below. Check out the rest of them, and that's it. See you later. Woo! I think Mr. T is Swiss. Do you know why? I pity the fool, Sacher. Get it?